Hello, student. Today, I, Dr. Shafali Jain, Assistant Professor, Tirthankar Mahavir University. Student, today we discuss about Block 2, the law of equal marginal utility. In the previous video, we also discussed about what is utility, what is marginal utility, what is total utility, and what is average utility. Today we discuss about the law of equal marginal utility. The law of equal margin utility was presented in 19th century by an Australian economist H. Gossin. It is also known as a law of maximum satisfaction or law of substitution or Gossin's second law. A consumer has number of wants. He tries to spend limited income or different things in such a way that margin utility of all things equal. I have also discussed you that the consumer have limited resources, which resources have alternative uses but has a unlimited income. So he wants to try to spend limited income on different things in such a way that marginal utility of all things is equal. When he buys several things which with given money income, he equalize marginal utility of all such things. The law of equal margin utility is an extension of the law of diminishing margin utility. In the previous video, we also discussed about the diminishing marginal utility. The consumer can get maximum utility by allocating income among commodities in such a way that last dollar spent on such item provides the same marginal utility. This law, it means this law was the first of all propounded by the Gossin in the 19th century, and it also called the second law of Gossin, and Marshall called it the law of equal margin utility. According to this law, in order to get maximum satisfaction, a consumer spend his income because the consumer income is limited, and he has to spend his limited income on different commodities in such a way that the last rupee, that the last dollar, you can take anything, rupee spent on each commodity yield him equal marginal utility. I think you have understood what is the law of equal margin utility. It means जो इनकम है कंज्यूमर की वो लिमिटेड है, लेकिन उसकी जो डिजायर्स हैं वो अनलिमिटेड है. एक कंज्यूमर चाहता है कि वे अपनी इनकम को अपनी अनलिमिटेड डिजायर पर इस प्रकार स्पेंड करे कि वो उसे सभी इक्वल मार्जिन यूटिलिटी दे. So, according to Marshall, if a person has things which he can put to several uses, he will distribute it among these uses in such a way that it has the same marginal utility in all. Marshall ने भी अपनी definition में यही कहा है. If a person has, Marshall ने अपनी बात को define किया है कि if a person has a things which he can put to several uses, things ko he took the limited incomes which has an alternative usage. So he divided his income among the uses in such way that he get the maximum and same marginal utility in all. So in short, we can say the law of equal margin utility explains the relation between the consumption of two or more products and what combination of the consumption these products will give optimum satisfaction. Margin utility is the additional satisfaction gained by the consuming one more units of a commodity. Hope student you understand well what is the law of equal margin utility. Now we discuss about the definition of the law of marginal equality. The law states that in order to get maximum satisfaction, a consumer should spend his limited income on different commodities in such a way that the last rupee spent on each commodity yield him equal margin utility. Hope you have to understood. I have also explained it before that the income is limited and and a consumer has a limited income, but he has an unlimited desire, and he wants in such a way that the last rupee of the last rupee spent on such commodity yielding give him equal margin utility and maximum utility. Next, a person get maximum utility with his given income when it is spent on different commodities in such a way that the margin utility of money spent on each item is equal. And it is clear that the consumer can get maximum utility from the expenditure of his limited income. He should purchase such amount of each commodity that the last unit of money spent on such items provides same marginal utility. It means a consumer spend his income on such way that he gets that each commodity and gets the same marginal utility when he spend his income on the different items, and each item provide him same marginal utility. Up now, I have also defined what is the margin utility, but in the brief, I also explain you what is the margin utility. Margin utility is the additional utility. Suppose with the example, I also can explain. Suppose you want to see an exhibition. For that, you have to take either a cab or any other public transport. Which option will you choose? You have limited income. The fare of the cab is double of that of the government bus. Which option will you choose now? Surely you will go for public transport. The concept, because you are a normal consumer, not a normal consumer, but a middle class consumer. The concept of saving money and proper utilization of capital is the basis of the margin utility and the law of equal margin utility. In simple words, margin utility is the additional satisfaction gained by the consumption of one more unit of the commodity. It is the approximate change in the total utility resulting from one unit change in the consumption of the commodity. It decreases with each additional increase in the consumption of a good. Suppose I also take an example. Suppose you eat one chocolate. How will you feel? I think chocolate is also very liking thing. Everybody, you will feel happy. Suppose you eat another chocolate. Are you feel happy still? Maybe. If you go for another one, is the feeling the same? No, now you don't feel happy. Moreover, you start to feel a little sick because the use of the more chocolate is to be harmful. So, as the unit of the same item goes on increasing, the margin utility goes to diminishing. I have also read about the law of diminishing margin utility. The law of diminishing margin utility, the relation between the utility and quantity quantity of a commodity, it state as a consumption increases more and more, the margin utility will be less and less. I think you have understood, and I also explained about the margin utility in the previous video. Now there are some assumptions of the equal margin utility. First of all, there is no change in piece of good. It means the units of good are homogeneous. There should be no change. There is the no change in the price of the good. It means the price of the good uh, should be same. uh, how many items the producer is using. The all items price should be same. Now the income of consumer is fixed. Consumer's income is fixed and limited. The margin utility of the money is constant. So जितने भी आइटम्स हैं वो सेम मार्जिन यूटिलिटी देंगे। और जो मनी इस जो है द मार्जिन यूटिलिटी ऑफ मनी की जो यूटिल्स है इफ यू मेजर्ड इन द मनी इट शुड बी कांस्टेंट बिकॉज यूटिल्स इज नॉट अ स्टैंडर्ड measure. So we measure the margin utility in the terms of money. So the margin utility of money is constant. Now next, consumer has perfect knowledge of utility obtained from goods. Uh, consumer has a perfect knowledge. Consumer has fully knowledge. He is also aware how much utility he can get from commodities. Now, next, consumer is normal person. So he tries to seek maximum satisfaction. In the economics, we consider that consumer is a rational and he should be a normal person. It means he shouldn't be drinker, yeah, abnormal because a drinker or abnormal person can't tries to seek a maximum satisfaction, but a normal person can find out the maximum satisfaction. Next, the utility is measurable in the cardinal items, cardinal terms. In the previous video, we also explained what is the cardinal approach. Cardinal approach, which is given by the Dr. Alfred Marshall. And in the cardinal approach, we can measure the utility in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so. And we can also measure the utility in terms of utils and also measure the utility in terms of money. So the utility is measurable. Now, consumer has many wants. You know that we have uh, we have limited incomes, but our wants, our desires are unlimited. The goods have substitutes, and substitute goods which has the place to the another goods as a tea and coffee, and or another things. No time gap. It means and there should be no time gap between the consumption of the different units and you can say and others taste fashions they just taste fashions preferences and the priorities remains unchanged and in this assumptions that the consumers aims at the maximum satisfaction and units of goods are homogeneous. There should be no changes in the goods. So there are many assumptions which I have discussed that there is no change in the price of goods or services. The consumer has a fixed income. The margin utility of the money is constant. Consumer tries to have a maximum satisfaction and the utility is measurable in the terms of cardinal terms. There are substitutes for the goods and the consumer has many wants. Now, I will also discuss the explanation of this question. Here, the law of substitutions can be explained with the help of an example. Suppose consumer has $5. $5, it is his income. He has his income in the $5 that he wants to spend sorry, on apples and coke in order to obtain maximum total utility. The following tables show margin utility of spending additional dollars of income and on Apple and Coke. As you know, this law is based on the principle of the obtaining maximum satisfaction from our limited income and the income of the consumer has $5. It explains the behavior of a consumer when the consumer more than one commodity. The law also states that a consumer should spend his limited income on different commodities in such a way that the last rupee spent, the last dollar spent on each commodity yield him equal margin utility in order to get maximum satisfaction. In this example, we took two items, apples and coke. Suppose there are different commodities like A, B, C, D, and extra. Consumer will get the maximum satisfaction in the case of equilibrium. Now, I should also explain this that unit of money spent $1 is spent mu apple 25 जो margin utility of apples है अगर if the consumer spend $1 he gets 25 utility and from the coke he gets 20 marginal utility. After that, if you can see here that if $1 on apples, if $1 जो है स्पेंड किया जाए एप्पल्स पर from apples from the $1 if the consumer spend he gets 25, it is written here 25 and $4 and extra जो $4 है he spent on other coke पर से देखिए अगर if he spend second dollars he gets 20 utils from the apples and he also gets 20 utils from the coke. Now he gives the preference later. So he gets 20, 15, 10 and 5. It is written here 20, 15, 10. Now the summations of the marginal utility and the total utility he gets 75. If he take this combination, $1 spent on the apple and next $4 spent on the coke. Now see the second combination. Now he spent $2 on apples for any 25 and 20. He spent 25 and 20 and on $3 spent on coke. 20 because $3 is spent he on the apple he gets minimum utility and if he spend it on the coke he gets more utility. Here he get less utility so he prefers that things which he gives more utility. Now 20, 15 and 10 the summations of the margin utility and the total utility he gets it's 90. Now we find the third combination. Now in the third combination he spent $3 on apples. Here you see a 20, 25, 20 and 50 and $2 on coke. Only 20 and 50. Now he gets the total utility 95. It is the highest point 95. Now we see other combination. He spent $4 on apples. Yani if 25, 20, 15 and 10 and only $1 spent on coke 20. Now he get 90 90 utils 90 utility from the total utility he gets 90. Now this combination is the best combination when he spent $3 on apples and $2 on coke. So you see here total utility for the consumption is 95 utils. That is the highest obtainable with expenditure on $3 on apples and $2 on coke. Here is the condition. Mu of apples is equal to mu of bananas is 15 is equal to 15. So is also satisfied and any other allocation of the last dollar shall give less total utility of the consumer. You see in the diagram here you also see that it's an apple and he spent here is the here he found sorry he here he got loss and in this combination is the best combination where he got the maximum satisfaction level. And when he spent $3 on the apples and $2 on the coke, it's a maximum level of satisfaction. You see in the diagram that the consumer get 25, 20, and 15. Here you see apple 25, 20, and 15. Here you have that. And 20 and 15 and 20 and 15. Here he gets the maximum satisfaction, or if he choose other combination, he got the loss. Now explanation. According to the traditional statement, consumer will spend his money income in such a way that last rupees spent on each product will give him equal satisfaction. You have also seen in the diagram and in the table. Modern economics also call it as the law of proportionality. According to them, a person gets maximum satisfaction when the marginal utility of one commodity divided by its price and the marginal utility of the other commodity divided by its price are equal. You see here that MUA, the MUA, the marginal utility of the one commodity divided by PA, its price, and MU is equal to MUB, the marginal utility of the second price, and divided by its price, PB, and MUC, the marginal utility of the third commodity. You can take on different another things and divided by TC. So the consumer takes different commodity and the getting of the different maximum satisfaction and margin utilities of one commodity divided by price, the margin utility of the other commodity divided by the price are equal. Hope student you have to understood what is the equal margin utility money, and hence his satisfaction may not be maximum because the margin utilities from his expenditure cannot be equalized due to ignorance because he has not fully knowledge. Next, the law is not applicable in case of individual goods. The customer, the consumer is unable to divide the goods it's just units of utility derived from consumptions of goods. Many times the goods is not dividable. It is suppose it may be any types of animals, goat and cow. If they are the things, apples and bananas, you can divide it. But this law is not applicable in this case. Now, next, there is no measurement of utility. It is a psychological concept. It is not possible to express it into quantitative form. This is also that utility is only a psychological concept. We can feel it, but we cannot measure it. So the ordinal approach is considered great than the cardinal approach. Next, the law does not hold well in case fashion and customs. The people like to spend money on birthdays, marriage, and death. I have also defined that today's in the present times, the consumer blindly follows the customs or fashion, and he doesn't see where the maximum satisfaction. He see only the living standard, his living standard and his customs, his fashions. He's not aim to get the maximum level of the satisfaction. He only spend his money. And next, the law does not hold well in case of very low income. The maximizations of utility is not possible due to low income. Where when the resources of the consumer is very limited and he has no the source of the income, so he cannot decide and he cannot decide and he cannot get the maximum satisfaction. And in the other things, if the consumer is very rich, The resources are unlimited. For example, in case with the free gifts of natures, in such cases there is no need to there is, and he don't think so, to spend from one direction or another directions. Now, next, the law is not applicable in case of durable goods. The calculation of marginal utility of durable goods is impossible. Many durable goods as machines, clothes, so it is not possible to count these utility. The law fails when goods uh, of choice are not available. The consumers is bound to use commodity which provides low utility due to not availability of goods having high utility. If anything is not available in the market, and the consumer has to use another things in place of the one place, so he don't judge the what utility he get, and he's also forced to use the goods in the low utility also. And next day, the law fails when goods of choice, sorry, there are certain lazy consumers. They do not care for maximum utility. The law fails to operate in case of laziness of consumers. They go to consuming goods with comparison utility. In utility, I have also discussed about utility. It's a psychological feeling, and the consumer, many consumer are also lazy, and without knowing the knowledge about the things, he only purchased them. He spent his money, and he don't compare the utility to things. Only they wants to consume it. So next, it does not work when there are frequent prices changes. Uh, the consumer is unable to calculate utility to different commodities. Changing price level create confusion in the mind of the consumer. It means frequent changes prices of different goods render the observance of the law very difficult. The consumer may not be able to make the necessary adjustment in his expenditure in a constantly changing price situations. And next, there are unlimited resources. Unlimited resources the does not work due to unlimited resources. There is no need to change the direction of expenditure from one item to another when there are gifts of natures. So, and there, if there are unlimited resources, and if due to the insufficient organization, in the same manners, if and in the organization is insufficient, business will fail to achieve the best result from the units of land, labor, and capital. That he implies that that this is so because he may not be able to divert expenditure to more profitable channel from the less profitable ones. Strand, I think you also understood the criticism of the utility. Now we discuss about the importance of the utility, the importance of the sorry, the importance of the law of equal marginal utility. This importance or revenue scheme. Hmm. Unable to divide the goods, it just units of utility derived from consumptions of goods. Many times the goods is not dividable. It is suppose it may be any types of animals, goat and cow. If they are the things, apples and bananas, you can divide it. But this law is not applicable in this case. Now, next, there is no measurement of utility. It is a psychological concept. It is not possible to express it into quantitative form. This is he see only the living standard, his living standard and his customs, his fashions. He's not aim to get the maximum level of the satisfaction. He only spend his money. And next, the law does not hold well in case of very low income. The maximizations of utility is not possible due to low income, where the when the resources of the consumer is very limited, and he has no the source of the income, so uh, he cannot decide and he cannot decide and he cannot get the maximum satisfaction. And in the other things, if the consumer is very rich, the resources are unlimited. For example, in case with the free gifts of natures, in such cases there is no need to there is, and he don't think so to expand from one direction or another directions. Now, next, the law is not applicable in case of durable goods. The calculation of margin utility of durable goods is impossible. Many durable goods as machines, clothes, so it is not possible to count these utility. The law fails when goods of, of choice are not available. The consumers is bound to use commodity which provides low utility due to not availability of goods having high utility. If anything is not available in the market and the consumer has to use another things in place of the one place, so he don't judge the what utility he get, and he's also forced to use the goods in the low utility also. And next day, the law fails when goods of choice, sorry, huh, there are certain lazy consumers. They do not care for maximum utility. The law fails to operate in case of laziness of consumers. They go to consuming goods with comparison utility. In utility, I have also discussed about utility. It's a psychological feeling, and the consumer, many consumer are also lazy, and without knowing the knowledge about the things, he only purchased them. He spent his money, and he don't compare the utility to things. Only they wants to consume it. So next, it does not work when there are frequent prices changes. Uh, the consumer is unable to calculate utility to different commodities. Changing price level create confusion in the mind of the consumer. It means frequent changes prices of different goods render the observance of the law very difficult. The consumer may not be able to make the necessary adjustment in his expenditure in a constantly changing price situations. And next, there are unlimited resources. Unlimited resources that the does not work due to unlimited resources. There is no need to change the direction of expenditure from one item to another when there are gifts of natures. So and there, if there are unlimited resources, and if due to the insufficient organization, in the same manners, if and in the organization is insufficient, business will fail to achieve the best result from the units of land, labor, and capital. That he implies that that this is so because he may not be able to divert expenditure to more profitable channel from the less profitable ones. Uh, Student, I think you also understood the criticism of the utility. Now we discuss about the importance of the utility, the importance of the importance of the law of equal marginal utility. बस importance और है नहीं है इसकी.